The music is Chill Day by Lakey Inspired.
Skippy Studio, reading and graphing analog input AIN3 100 times over the Skippy remote interface using setup for Red Pitaya example 231421. The Skippy Studio command above is designed to read analog pin AIN3 10 times and graph. This is similar to a DVM fetch. The command is looped 10 times for a total of 100 reads. Now let's watch the AISReadSlowAnalog test program. To begin using the Red Pitaya, I enter RP F06D7F.local. After the system boots up, I select Development, then Skippy, then press the Run button. I select NI Max, wait for the system to boot. I select Devices and Interfaces. Followed by Network Devices and the appropriate TCP/IP address, and I validate I can open a socket. We will now launch SQLite Expert and take a look at the test program that we're going to run on the Red Pitaya. We're going to run the AISReadSlowAnalog I/O test program. This area here is the main header and configuration area. This is typically used to configure the test program. And I'll do things like open up the port here, set the limits, set any loop counters that I'm using, and set up the plotting. And over here I'll begin the actual measurement procedures. This is utilizing a special procedure. We're going to call an init function to initialize this measurement. We're going to call these various subroutines here that will query the voltage measurement, graph the results, and branch accordingly. And we're going to loop this 10 times based upon the loop counter setting. This area here will exit the test program. These are the subroutines I referred to. They're fairly straightforward. You use the command visa wrt m query. That's a special function that I created to do multiple readings, like a fetch on a DVM when you have a device that doesn't actually have a fetch function internally. This area here will measure the actual analog pin AIN3, and it will measure 10 times. And as I stated earlier, we will loop 10 times, so we'll get a total of 100 readings. Then each 10 will be graphed, and the graph will concatenate subsequent readings, so you get a graph of 100 readings. And we will branch either pass or fail depending on the comparison to the limits. So here are the branch on pass and branch on fail sections, and this area here simply sets up the plotting, and that takes care of the test program. We will now launch Skippy Studio and run the program that we discussed earlier. It's called AISReadSlowAnalog I/O, and it's over here, and it's controlled by the IP control 000 register. We'll go ahead and run this program. And what you will see, we were in the measurement trace mode, so we're not verbose, we're not data logging every trace. And you'll notice the sequences here of 10 readings as we discussed when we talked about the test programs, and they're being concatenated concatenated to the graph, as I stated earlier. So we'll let this finish out. So this finishes the 100 readings that we discussed. And at the end of this, you'll see activity at the data log screen here at the bottom right. And this is all the data that we captured in data log to the SQLite database. And that's how you run a Skippy Studio test program. We'll go ahead and show you how you exit. You stop the server from running and you can exit the app. Thanks for watching.
I want to take this time to thank the team at Pitaya with providing me with a system to evaluate with Skippy Studio. I hope this presentation and others that will follow will demonstrate the amazing capabilities of the Pitaya in unison with Skippy Studio. The music Chill Day by Lanky Inspired.